Welcome back to Reds Bar. This is day 2 of the Players' Championship Finals in 2023. And Minehead is not disappointing so far today because already through Stephen Bunting with the performance on stage 2 of this year's tournament. Will that be backed up by more brilliance by either the German Darts Championship winner or Ryan Searle, who was responsible for winning the very first Players' Championship of this season? He's on home soil. He doesn't have to stay in anybody else's bed. He can stay in his own and play at Minehead. And I just wonder how much support he will have here on board 2. It might just tip the scales in favouritism against someone who recently has not been able to handle the fans from other places. We'll get into that in due course. But Pietreczko is looking to find plenty here as he takes on Heavy Metal, who's protecting a position in this tournament which is fairly precarious. Because 2 years ago,
ladies and gentlemen, first leg Ryan, throw first. Game on!
He was in the final. If he doesn't make the semis or final again, he is going to go down in the rankings. And he will know that, won't he, Chris Murphy?
78.
Absolutely, he was so close, wasn't he, to winning that title against Peter Wright. Ryan Searle was whiskers away from becoming a major champion himself. Certainly he's got the credentials to go on and do that. Bolstered by the practice pairing with Gary Anderson, who's actually currently playing on the main stage at the moment. And they'll both sort of walk off and cross paths, won't they, after these games and say, how did you get on, mate? But I think it certainly helped Searle's game as much as Anderson's.
And they are in the same quarter of the draw, albeit on different sides of that quarter. If they're in the last 8 together, that will be something else.
The Somerset Slinger looking to have another run here at a home from home. Mentioned the Heavy Metal. Well, how good did Stephen Bunting play with his heavier metal? That little change seems to have done the trick for Stephen Bunting. It's not about the darts, of course it's not. It's about the person throwing them, but the bullet really is... He's got on before anybody else has played. There wasn't a match started on the main stage when Stephen Bunting beat Jan van Veen. And he's just literally walked out and laid down a marker, hasn't he? Said, that's what you've got to beat, boys.
Yeah, it's a bit like turning up for work. Stephen's on his way out saying, I've already finished my shift. Double top for Searle, and that is ominous for Pietreczko, because if Searle is finding that with no trouble, then there may not be a way back.
Yeah, tops is very much his comfort blanket, Ryan Searle. And he's made a comfortable start here.
Yeah, beat Boris Kruchma yesterday by 6 legs to 4 with an average in excess of 98. That's ominous. Every first round of a tournament is difficult to put in a big performance. But I would classify that as very impressive. But there's definitely another level to his game.
Yeah, Ricardo Pietreczko, you may have seen him if you watched our Stage 2 coverage yesterday, beat Christian Kiss 6-1, but that doesn't tell the full story. Ryan Searle is definitely going to give him a much better game than Kiss was able to. We think hampered by some hand injury, because if you look closely at the end of the match, he couldn't shake hands with his normal hand. He was really struggling, Christian Kiss, and we put it down to that. Nobody's struggling here.
This game is ridiculous all of a sudden. Everyone's doing a bit of a point. Well, 41 after 9 for both. One mistake, Ricardo, and you might pay for it. Good guide for double 16. And he doesn't make a mistake. One of the best legs we've seen on the stage in the last couple of days. Wonderful.
Yeah, he went 140, 140, 180, and then out on the 41. Ryan Searle here. Well, this is incredible. That's three 180s in a row.
He's going for a record here, because the PDC record of consecutive 180s is 4 for Mervyn King. Did it in Vegas more than 15 years ago.
And I believe Steve Brown did it as well. 2 players have got that achievement. Ryan Searle doesn't add his name to the roll of honour But 3 uninterrupted maximums, Paul. What an achievement.
And yet he's still 1-1.
Yeah, and you know we said about Stephen Bunting laying down a marker, well, I think he's actually created a monster here.
Well, at the minute, I'm starting to think that Stephen is the pace setter. He has left the track, and he's just left an open track for the likes of Searle and Pietreczko.
Pietreczko is averaging more than 110. Ryan Searle, despite that previous score of 41, he's averaging more than 120.
Almost unsustainable numbers, but let's find out what happens with 146 first. When Gary Anderson talks about how good Ryan is, you have to listen, because do you remember a few years ago when Gary said, do you know, I think the next person to really pop will be Johnny Clayton.
And he said it about Luke Humphries as well, didn't he?
Well, there you go. Gary's obviously got some sort of crystal ball or feeling. And he is right. And he's right about Searle. That double top bed is at his mercy.
Yeah, the first dart was in the 7. The second dart, as you saw, in double top.
Yeah, Ricardo's playing well here, but he may, in this contest, have to play the best game he's ever played just to get through to the next round.
28.
Well, it's a second 14-dart winning leg for Ryan Searle. It's taking 4 visits to stop him. But Pietreczko's he's fighting, isn't he? He's giving himself opportunities.
Very much so, and he's never felt better about his game. He's finding it very difficult to get rid of Ryan Searle, though. That's the problem. I mean, even Ricardo's laughing at this.
Yeah, because every time he hits one, Ryan Searle hits one back.
Don't hit one here.
Treble 13.
I'll tell you why he wants to win this game more than anything else. Because he's never beaten Ryan Searle before in 3 attempts. He's been on the end of 3 hidings. But nothing of this sort of quality. Still a long way to go.
Don't miss. Ryan Searle can be dangerous. He's hit 4 180s in this game, Ryan Searle. We know he can find a couple of trebles. There's one of them. Treble 19, there's the other. Double 18. Oh, Super Searle slams in the finish and puts Pietreczko on the floor. Small mistake, missing a couple of darts at double, and Ryan Searle cleans up an enormous 153 checkout.
I have 5 words for the darting world, and it's public. How good is Ryan Searle? We all know he's good, but this is prime A5 Ryan Searle Wagyu. This is incredible.
He seems to perform well on this stage as well. Remember that game against Dirk van Dijvenbode?
So what you're saying is, get through this game, just stick him on stage 2 and he'll be through to the last stage.
Yeah, move the final. Move the final day to stage 2 for Searle.
No, what you're saying is, if you put this Ryan Searle in the 2018 UK Open, he would have won it. If you're not aware, the UK Open,
89.
in its entirety pretty much, this was the main stage.
And by the way, this is a guy that can barely see. If you're not aware of Ryan's history, his right eye is actually slightly too big for its socket condition he's got, and it causes blurry vision.
Well, judging by the fact that Gary Anderson's sight isn't the best, I think I might have to not get my eyes checked for the next 5 years.
To be honest, Paul, sometimes when you threw your darts, I thought you weren't looking.
100.
I wasn't actually listening to you there, Murph. I was focusing on something else. Yeah, I was focusing on Ryan throwing darts and leaving 131, which could be 4-1.
Fair play to Ricardo. He keeps asking questions. Ryan Searle, this time, hasn't got the answer.
91.
But you just feel that Pietreczko's got to take this out. Searle sitting on tops.
One dot at tops. I have no idea why he went for the treble. I would have left him on 6-6. But don't be doing that. And don't be doing that, because Searle on tops. Print your own checks.
Good guide. In it goes, Ryan Searle, 4-1.
Do you know what one of the funniest things is about 2023? Because very recently, this month in fact, Ryan Searle was worrying his personal best average. And he fell just short when he was playing in a Players' Championship on the 1st of November. But 116.36 was his average in a 6-2 win over Martin Lukeman. Who has he got his personal best average against? Martin Lukeman. So what is it about Searle playing Smash? Twice he's gone over 116 against him.
And he does have a fair few of those averages north of the 110, doesn't he, Ryan Searle? He's managed that plenty of times on the floor. Interestingly, though, 100. His best average on TV was at the match play this year against Raymond van Barneveld, 105. He's very much in position to smash that.
8 times he's been over 110 in his career, but they're all very recent.
Pietreczko's not ruling himself out yet.
80.
130, and he, for once, has got a little bit of respite here from Ryan.
I'd be careful, though, because if Ryan leaves 161, he'll probably take it.
90.
That worked out well for the German. Betting the ball to leave tops.
He has had chances, though, hasn't he? It's 4-1, but it could be 3-2 Pietreczko based on doubles. He's had a couple of really, really interesting chances. He takes that one.
Ricardo,
but if he had been a little sharper on doubles, he could be ahead in this game.
Another... I do you want me to tell you something a little bit funny? Before that visit, Pietreczko actually had the higher average in the match.
Averages lie.
He might have it again.
140.
Well, we've seen five 180s for Ryan Searle.
Oh, he's going for another 9-darter. He had one at the slam. What kind of form is he in?
Back-to-back maximums to take his tally for the tie to 6.
To be only the second person to have hit a 9 on this stage in this tournament in its history, which would have had him join Alan Norris.
He fancied it, you can see that. What a display this is.
I thought yesterday was great fun. 16 great games of darts. But the way things have started today, it's as if we were chomping on trash yesterday, and today we've been given 3 Michelin stars.
Well, certainly a superstar in front of us in the form of Ryan Searle, and Ricardo Pietreczko is not far behind him. Both players averaging more than 105 in this game. 9 180s between them. We've seen that supersize, stupendous 153 finish that really got a grip on this game for this man. And he's keeping that grip. And he's now one leg away from a place in the last 16.
He is very, very good friends with Luke Humphries. Here's Ryan Searle. And it could be Humphries in the next round, because the number 7 seed, Grand Slam champion and Grand Prix champion, has got Radek Sagansky on the main stage this afternoon. And if Searle gets the job done here, and Luke does against the pole, that will definitely not be on this stage later.
140.
He's very, very good friends with Gary Anderson as well, isn't he?
62.
He's currently beating Dimitri Vandenberg 4-3 on the main stage. We will keep you up to date with the action from the main arena in Minehead, but I'm sure, like us, you are transfixed on this one at the moment.
140.
Got to start 19s. Channeling 160 now.
59.
Doesn't get a treble, so
Although you
Pietreczko's got a little bit of
require
breathing
81.
space, which, considering how much he's been suffocated in this performance, this will feel very, very good indeed. He thought that was in.
Touch of the Searles.
Das ist nicht.
Oh, he finds it funny, doesn't he? He'll calm himself down here. That'll settle him.
Shot in the 8th leg. Ricardo, Pietreczko.
Ja, das ist gut.
9th leg, Ryan to through
That's
first.
quite funny, actually, because in such a great game where you could obviously have some sort of tension,
90.
you're seeing two dart players really enjoying a very great game.
107.11 the average for the player that's losing the match.
46.
Another. He won't stop.
180.
Hit 3 in a row earlier in the match. Hit 2 in a row at another point to put himself on a potential 9-dart finish, Ryan Searle.
60.
But the 7th, the magnificent 7th maximum from heavy metal puts him on the brink of completing
140.
a brilliant, brilliant victory. 85 for the match.
78. Ryan require.
I think Ricardo
85.
understands that he just doesn't have in his arsenal today what he needs to get rid of this man
Game,
who was just
start,
too good.
and the match.
My word, that's a performance and a half. Searle just irresistible in taking out Pikachu, who's not going to find his way to the later session, but he really did try. He averages over 103 and loses, but he knows how good that was. Everybody should take note. We have, because he's just gone over 106. And that, for us, is one of the best performances of his career. His doubling was irresistible too. 75%. Was there anything that Ryan Searle couldn't do in that performance? Well, I don't think so, apart from the fact he missed a 9-darter. But that's just us picking nits. He's through to the next round. Ricardo Pietreczko can't be sad. We will stick around because we've got Campbell and Mario Van der Bojada after this.